Okay, Thursday, February 11th. One day and a shave and a haircut since my last video. Doing a quick one because I wanted to point something out. Not only the beautiful snow that we did get, which you're going to hear me walking. I'm going to try not to walk much because you're going to hear through the snow the whole time. But my last video, age restricted, and the video before that, the age restriction lifted. So it's clear that what the age restriction is about slowing the views of the videos that they don't want you to see. And it's interesting to me because if my last video from Sunday was age restricted, what between Sunday and last night made it not age restricted anymore? And then overnight last night made my new one age restricted from yesterday. Interesting. Again, what they're doing is clear, and it is a sad, worrisome state of affairs to see this blatant censorship, this blatant attempt at suppressing information. Some dude walking in the woods, you know what I mean? Sending out correlative videos upon subjects on which I'm talking about. You know, isn't that just so anti-freedom? Oh my God, domestic terror! You know, it's retarded. But it's the new norm. No free thought, no free movement, no free choice, because we're living in America. Ha ha! It's in your station. Little Rocky 3 for you there, some James Brown. Might as well sing, hey! What'd they say in Star Wars, that one movie that everyone hated with Jar Jar? Maybe it was the one after. Freedom dies with thunderous applause, right? Of course, that's historic knowledge, but, you know, why learn from history? You know, because this is all brand new. And our government loves us, yeah. They want to keep you safe, yeah. We're living in America. Anyway, jackasses! Oy, oy, oy. That clip will never go away. We'll add some over time too. Yesterday's video, I ended up having some trouble with it, so I couldn't really work the graphics the way I was hoping. So I put it out as is after about 4 hours worth of work on it, 4.5 hours worth of work on that little 15-minute video. It is a lot of work, but the things I'm learning make it look better. And I wasn't going to do another one today for a few reasons, you know. It's snowing. And, you know, I wanted to just enjoy the snow. I did a video yesterday. But when I saw that my newest video from yesterday was age restricted, which I watched it. There's nothing. Rewatched it. There's nothing. Profanity all over fucking YouTube. I've been speaking freely, using profanity for my entire video, you know, interactions, because I don't filter myself when I'm having my thoughts out loud, when I'm saying my thoughts out loud. So that's not even on the list anyway. So to see that they just age restricted the one from yesterday and de-age restricted the one from the day before. Suddenly that wasn't age restricted anymore. Now this one is, because again, it's about slowing down the passing on and the views. Look, I've witnessed personally views going to go down. You know, you look at them in the stats, in the analytics, you look at them later and they've gone down because people unview things. They unsee it. They just all of a sudden Clearly, that's true with likes and dislikes, but, you know, people can change those. But I don't know how you can unsee something. But, you know, hey, no one will notice. And, of course, they do it for many reasons. I notice in the analytics, what they do to me is they will keep a good 20 or 30 views off of the current analytics that would actually put the video you just made into like top, you know, 3 of, you know, videos that are getting watched and stuff. And they hold that. It's in another section and on the, you know, webpage or whatever, but it's not in there yet. And they keep it there, keeping like 9th video, not many people are watching like before, and giving you all these things to go, oh my God, I should start changing what I'm doing and what I'm saying and changing everything so that I get more views, which of course you should be doing yourself, but they want you to not talk about what you're talking about. So they want you to think that you need to change topics, you know, and then you start to compromise what you're saying for views. And it's not how I do business. This is not about any of that. Never has. So keep playing with the numbers. Keep age restricting and showing who you are, YouTube, because that's all you're doing to people, is showing them you are about censorship and tyranny, and that you pretend to want to keep people safe, but people are going to start going, I'm safe from words and information. I can listen and learn myself. What's going on here? Start to question. One would hope. We'll see. I believe they reveal themselves every time they censor and every time they do something like this. Look at David Icke. They took him off all the platforms, and all of a sudden now he's very well known. Of course, his research and work on the truth of this plandemic fakery is very spot on, very well done, and very researchable for you to go research yourself. So, you know, that suppression of his information makes people who hear that, why are they hiding his information? What is he saying? Why do they not want me to see it? It makes people who do hear of him or do hear of that or do have trouble finding him wonder why, you know. Of course, their whole plan is to keep people from knowing who he is at all. But, you know, years of ridicule and stuff like they did prior to. But people are looking around now going, fuck is going on, man, you know? And the more censoring they do, should also tell you the more censoring they do, the closer they are coming to encroaching upon your rights physically. How do we know that? History. Recent history. Knowable history. Not even bullshit history, you know? Where you look at it and go, well, this isn't what happened. You know, I mean, you can look and learn and see these tactics being applied in the modern day, you know? Go back to the 40s. Oh, you're talking about Hitler and Nazis? What, are you a lefty? See how they did that? It's so amazing how they've taken the actual fascism being brought in, the Nazi tactics, the communist propaganda, and the socialist ideologies being brought in, while shifting anyone who calls that out. Hey, how you doing? All right. Hey, buddy. While shifting the focus of someone who is calling that out, that it is occurring, shifting the focus of the jackass into saying, what are you, one of those crazy lefties? It's amazing, you know. Again, politics is for children. Government is tyranny, as we see. If you don't see that yet, look around you, Sam. Look around you. A little lethal weapon for you. Start throwing in all the movie lines, you know. Because we're running out of time here before the next really big show and really big scare. I mean, the balls on these people to say that you and I cannot question something they want to inject into you. Cannot ask a question, cannot wonder, cannot have a thought about the covering up of your own blowhole and what horrific consequences they have that has for human health, especially cumulatively. You're not allowed to have those thoughts, you see, because the Federal Reserve that has shut down the global economy so that they can continue to print money and buy everything while the money velocity is stopped. And then once, the correction is made, SpaghettiOs, hyperinflation, Venezuela, Zimbabwe style, because it's the same fucking thing over and over again, country to country, that they do. And then they blame the plandemic and the mutant next level of the virus and all the nonsense that people are going to hype up. Because you might figure out that this is fucking ridiculous. You're not allowed to question it. You're not allowed to think about questioning it. You're not allowed to talk about it. And you're going to be ridiculed, criticized, and demonized for doing so by, most people that you know. Where do we learn these stories? History. Oops, I'll fall over. Religious parables and stories. All those things that we go, yeah, that's why, that's who I look up to, right? Are you going to be that? You're going to be that hero that you look up to? Because no one can make that choice for you. All people like me can do is try to be an example, speak the truth, live what we speak, and hope that example is personified in others, because where we are is scary. You wake up today, look at my stats and go, man, it seemed to have stopped again at some point overnight. Why? You look, age restricted. Okay, they're age restricted them all. Then I look at my last video, no longer age restricted. So it got better suddenly. Meeting of the minds happened and said, okay, this one needs to be age restricted, not that one. Again, and you know why? Because I'm not smart enough to figure out it's a tactic to slow the views and the spreading of information that's being done. Of course, it's being done on levels of people that have much more of a reach than I do. But it's being done to anyone that speaks this. Why? Because I'm not the threat. David Icke's not the threat. Max Igan's not the threat. You know what the threat is? The threat to them is the truth. We're just vehicles and vessels that are speaking and manifesting those words and those ideas and that behavior into the world, which makes us, of course, quote unquote, dangerous to the tyranny. But the reality of it is, it's that truth that is the danger, which is why they want you vessels to shut up, and we vessels and me vessels to shut up, behave, be another brick in the wall, get that consciousness walled up. That's what they want. And we're supposed to go, okay, it's amazing, because people are doing that. And I'm not speaking negative. People in many aspects are not doing that. They are starting to go, what the fuck? But many others are not. And then of those, as I've said before, that do start to raise their heads, how many are going to have enough time to do the work necessary to gain the courage to stand in truth, morality, righteousness, and their God-given freedom? I know many will be, myself included, but because again, the work necessary isn't just the 3D. There's a conspiracy here. The inner work of understanding who you are, the realization of what this life experience is, the true I that you are, the infinite experience that you will have exploring forever. And the knowing of that through, again, there's so many ways to correlate religious aspects, Mr. Tradition aspects, scientific aspects, you know, New Age aspects, you know, of all of these things that teach the same thing. And now that science, people like Dr. Joe Dispenza and Greg Braden and Bruce Lipton, and the work that's being done within the scientific community that shows and proves things from a quantum aspect, from an epigenetic understanding, from a study of neurological effects and provable results of brainwave studies, when certain things happen, certain thoughts and occurrences inside the body. These things are not just merry fairy, wary fairy things that were taught in mythology and you know, religious tales for a bit of fun, you know. These truths about ourselves tell us that our thoughts control our emotions. Our emotions can run our thoughts. We can be controlled by our emotions. We need to take that charge of ourselves back by knowing this vehicle, this vessel is under our control, being operated by the conscious energy that is you, the spirit, the soul, the true I, whatever you want to call it. The energy that leaves upon the death of the vehicle that this body is. The consciousness that is the all, that is part of the all, that is everything. When you realize that level of who you are and what all of your religious figures were teaching was that, not that they were going to come back and swoop down and save you for believing in him, but for actually internalizing the concepts that are being taught in a non-watered down, threatenous way back then that made these people dangerous to the same tyranny that is still in charge, that is now looking to put the final boot on the throat of every single person on the planet by saying, hey, you gotta do what I say. There you go. No, you have to. Oh, yeah. We're having total tyranny, and we're supposed to be like... No one took these lessons in. All these religious people, all these educated people, all these psychologically aware people, all of these patriots that claim they are about freedom, that are lost in defending one side of a government against another that is one unit doing the same fucking thing, pitting each other against each other, instead of stepping back and realizing this is two wings on one bird, and I am speaking out against the evil that is government, because that's what we're supposed to be doing, you know. That's what a patriot does. But this lack of again, people, I don't know how to say it, people don't want to believe it. They want the heroes of the world to save it, the white hats, the military, the thin blue line, the presidential candidate, the activist, the religious figure, the fucking extraterrestrials, the ignorance of everything, and just you sitting there and going, I can ignore all this, I'm a good person, and I'm believeth in himeth, and I don't have to make good during this life, I just have to ignore it all, you know. Whatever aspect of passivity people have taken on is why this continues. You know, the hope for that external savior, instead of realizing you are that savior by not complying. You save yourself, you set the example, you teach, you do the right thing, others will do it. It might not be a fast domino effect, but it will affect others, and then that grows and grows. Because believe me, the opposite has been certainly true with all the bullshit they've done to poison the minds of society today. So clearly, doing the right thing can work as well. But Again, will people have done the work necessary? We will see. Me, as I've said, I'll continue to speak till I can't. I'll never fucking do this. This is ridiculous. I'll never be an example to my children to do this. That includes showing fear about it, because, again, knowing who you are not only diminishes that fear, but it empowers the love that builds the courage, that builds the righteous behavior, that builds the will to stand up and say no, because you know who you are. Well, I need my kids to know who they are, right? So do you. So conforming and teaching them to subjugate out of fear of authority, if that's what you think being a good parent is, and a good example, well, you're wrong. That's you instilling your own fear into your own children, making them 10 times as fearful, especially considering the tyranny that they are going to be left with. If you can't fathom that, you're choosing not to. Look around you now. Life in a mask, 2, 3, 4 masks they want you to wear. Go fucking stupid. Forced inoculations. Forced papers, please. Papers, please. Remember when you were little, when you learned how horrible that was? Ah, now, you know, because it's a phone, click. It's different, right? I'm telling you, man. If people really sat back and looked at what's going on, there is no conclusion that they could come to that would verify one fucking thing of this nonsense as far as a way to live, regardless of what you believe scientifically or politically or religiously or ideologically. Looking at this, everybody knows this is no way to live. And of course, that's what people close their eyes to when it happens to others. And now that it's closing in on them, will they close their eyes until it's too late? Just like the first they came for the trade unionists, I did nothing because I was not a trade unionist. They came for the communists, I did nothing, I was not a communist. They came for the Jews, I did nothing because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me. There was no one left to speak out for me. Is that where we're going again? See, that was written down and remembered so that we learn from it. Learning is required. And then taking that learning and turning it into wisdom by making that learning actionable behavior. Well, that's how you make change in the world. That's why they want to destroy history all the time. They keep repeating it. If you see that pattern, you'll go, wait a minute. Strange things are afoot. So, I'm going to cut it here. It's getting cold. I'm heading out. It's beautiful out here. Take some time to realize the way out. The way out isn't constant, studying of facts and PCR understandings and, scientific arguments. And it's the understanding of the true realization that this is not what you want your kids to be growing up in anyway. You know it's not right. You know you wouldn't want this. Think back to your life. You're going to do this to your kids. You're going to do this to ourselves. We're going to do this no matter what you believe, no matter what you think. And if you're teaching your kids to be afraid of this, what are you doing to them, man? God, they're walking around as a set of eyes, terrified. Can't even look at the expressions of others to see what the hell is being communicated. At these young ages doing that shit, you think that's a good idea? You think that all the bodies you've stepped over in the street, and all the relatives and friends that have died from this, nonsense, which I'm being sarcastic, meaning no one has. People have died of what they've always died with and from. We have no flu this season, right? It's all gone. This time last year, it was all kind of flu, but it's all gone this year. It couldn't be that they're redesignating the flu and the flu-like symptoms to something else. You can't start to make that realization and realize people die every day. Let me actually look at these numbers. Let me look at this and see, wait a minute. if we had a big pandemic, where's all the extra deaths on top of what last year's numbers were? Start realizing those things, because those are just the 3D aspects of it. There's so much more that you need to know to get to the point of standing in courage, of taking your courage and standing in truth and freedom and morality. And time's ticking. And we need those that are on the fence, because this is a numbers game. This is a co-creative experience, and mostly manifested due to people ignoring it, go on all around them, and not question it, and not try to change it, and not do the right thing, not believe it. Because co-creatively, most people don't give a shit about nothing unless it fucking affects them, which is one of the main things you're also here to learn through this experience in order to manifest freedom. Everybody matters. Yeah, everybody, sorry. And not in some globalist, centralized, controlled think tank type of way. It has to come from in here, because you know what is true, right, and moral, and that's how you behave. God forbid. All right, I'm cutting it out. We're coming up on 30 minutes, and I'm chilly. So love you guys. Get learning. Get speaking.